Hi boys and girls, this is Miss Quenya. I am doing this very quick video to go over a couple of misconceptions that I've seen in this week's assignments. So we've been talking about theme, right? And one of this week's assignments was to identify what the different themes, main ideas, and topics were of our novel, A Long Walk to Water. And I realized that a couple of you were a little bit confused with the difference between these three things. So I want to just quickly go over it. And I'm also going to go over in this video the assignment that you actually had to complete based on our novel study, A Long Walk to Water. Okay, so I want you to listen very carefully to this presentation. And if you are still confused about anything after watching this video, please message me on Google Classroom. You can send me a private message or an email, and I will try to give you any other information that I think you might need in order to better understand the difference between these three things. Okay, so remember theme. When we look at the word theme, remember we usually box out the, right? And then we fill in the rest of the word message. The theme is the message, right? That the author wants us to get out of reading a text. So let's take a look first at theme. So we know that theme is the message of the lesson, right, from the story that can be applied to our own life. So let's take a look at these notes. And you have all of these notes that I'm going to review, boys and girls, on this presentation in your binder. Okay, so remember a while back we did a short, a small group mini lesson on theme, and we've read this text, remember The Invisible Boy with Brian, and I'm going to make a lot of connections with that book just to kind of refresh your memory on what theme is. Okay, so theme, we know obviously the author is not going to specifically state it in the text. We have to make an inference, right? There could also be more than one theme. And also, the theme is not going to be specific to the story. So, for example, a theme, when you tell me a theme of a story, you're not going to give me characters' names, right? You're not going to include their names in the theme. Because then that, if you gave me a specific character's name, the theme you're giving me is not going to be able to be applied to every other story. Okay, so it cannot have a character's name. It cannot be specific to something specific that happened in the story. Okay, and also theme is universal and it can apply to everyone. So let's take a look at these two examples. Remember the text, the picture book that we read together in our small group, The Invisible Boy? And then I gave you these two examples and I asked you to identify, well, which one of these two do you think would be a theme for this story based on these rules above, right? So the first one says, being excluded makes Brian sad. The second one says, excluding people hurts their feelings. Now, which one of these two is specific to the Invisible Boy and Brian's character? The first one, right? Because it even uses his name. So this would not be a theme. It could be part of a main idea, right? Because that definitely is a main idea in the text, right? He feels sad because he's excluded and he's not noticed by others. So the second one, excluding people hurts their feelings. Notice how they use the word people. It can be applied to anyone, right? It can be applied to Brian. It can be applied to someone else in another book. It can even be applied to us in our own life, okay? So that makes it a theme. Now let's take a look at the difference between a topic and a theme, okay? So topics usually are like one words, right? Like, oh, the topic of this book is be kind, or oh, the topic of this book is love or courage, right? So looking at some of these examples, it's usually just one word, okay? Sometimes it could be more than one, okay? It could be like be kind, that's two words, right? Or doing good for others, that's more than one or two words, right? So it could be a couple of extra words, but it's not like a statement, right? So a topic is the subject matter that the text is about, right? That's addressed in the story. So let's take a look at these examples. So topics are, or it could be an issue or subject matter addressed in the text. For example, courage. Now, in that story, The Invisible Boy, courage is definitely a topic. It's a subject that is referred to in that story, right? But now let's take that idea and transfer it into a theme. So we know a theme is a message or a lesson, right, from the story that we can apply to our own life and another book. So let's take the idea of courage and change it into this. It takes courage to do the right thing. Remember when Brian stood up because of that new boy in school, was being made fun of because he was eating food that the students weren't used to, right? And he had the courage to do the right thing, which was to try to make that new kid feel good, right? He drew him a picture. So notice how we took courage, which is the topic, and we transferred into a theme. Notice the theme is a complete sentence, right? Does it specify Brian's name? Like, is it specific to Brian and what the fact that he had courage to do the right thing? No. So that's why this would be a theme, okay? Now let's take a look at main idea. So the main idea of a text is a sentence that explains what the story is mostly about. So a main idea will be specific to the story. It will include characters' names. It will include specific events or specific conflicts that happened in the story. Okay? So let's take a look at an example. Brian was upset that he wasn't invited to the party. Remember when all the kids were talking about how cool the pool party was for one of the girls, and he obviously wasn't invited? That got him upset. Notice how it uses the character's name, Brian. It also used a specific event, right? He was upset because he was not invited to the party. So this would be a main idea. It's specific to that story that we're reading, okay? Now let's take a look at theme. Now, we can still use that idea, right? That did happen in the story. Let's see if we can change it into a theme. So it says, you should always try to include others. Oh, sorry, boys and girls. So you should always try to include others. In that sentence, is that specific to Brian and the fact that he was not invited to a party? No, right? So that could be a theme because it's not specific to the story. It doesn't use the character's name and it doesn't use a specific conflict or a specific event that happened in the story. There could be another story in the world that I read that also can have this theme. Okay, so that's the difference, boys and girls. Topic. So I'm going to go back to just the beginning. Theme is the message, right? It is not specific to with a character's name or a character's conflict or an event of a story. It's just a message that I can use in other books as well, or with myself as well. Main idea will include specific names of characters, specific events and conflicts that happen in the story. And then topic are just maybe one or two words, right? Like, oh, courage, right? Because maybe courage is mentioned in the text, or friendship, or being kind, right? Those are topics, okay? There's nothing else about it. It's just a word or two words, right? It doesn't tell me, okay, what about courage or what about being kind? So that would be just a topic. So now let's take a look at the activity that you had to work on. So I gave you a box on the top and then I gave you some gray boxes on the bottom that you had to click and drag, right? So it says click and drag the boxes to where they belong in the chart above. So you had to read and decide, is it a main idea? Is it a sentence that explains something specific in the story? Is it a topic? Is it just an issue or a subject matter that's addressed in the story? Or is it a theme? Is it one of the messages or the lessons that we learned from the story that can be applied to our own life and maybe another book? Okay, so one thing, and I noticed a lot of you even messaged me about this and said, this was super easy, Miss Cunha, because obviously if it says Salva's name, it has to be part of the main idea because that's specific to Salva, to A Long Walk to Water, right? And then you said, well, and anyone that's short, like that just has one word, that's a topic because it's a subject, right? It's an issue. It's just one or two words about what the text might be in reference to. And then you said, and then the theme, obviously cannot have Salva's name, cannot have a specific event that happened in A Long Walk to Water or a specific conflict that happened, right? It could be something that could be applied to another book. So let's take a look. I'm going to look at this one first. We're going to go in order. It says, although Salva is alone, he is grateful for the people who helped him along his own journey. The old woman, uncle, and Marielle. So this is specific to the story, right? Only A Long Walk to Water is the only book that has these characters: Salva, the old woman, Uncle, Marielle, and that book is the only one that has Salva being grateful for the people who helped him. So what would that be? Is it a main idea? Is it specific to the story? Is it a topic or theme? If you said main idea, you are correct. Okay. Next one, perseverance. One word. Does it tell me anything specific of the story? Nope. Does it tell me a message or a lesson that I can use to apply to another story? Nope. I mean, it could be part of the message or part of the lesson, but a theme should be a statement, right? It should be a sentence. So perseverance would be topic. And if you said topic, you are correct. All right, next one, survival. Same thing, right? Topic. It doesn't give me a statement about the lesson or the message. It's not specific to the story, right? It doesn't have characters' names, specific events, or anything like that. So that would be a topic. All right, next one. In times of need, maintaining a level of happiness and optimism that allows you to move forward and to never lose hope will help you survive the difficulties in your life. Okay, so the questions you ask yourself is, well, is it specific to the story? Does it say Salva or South Sudan or refugee camps, like specific to that story? Nope, so it can't be main idea. Is it a topic, just a one-word subject? Nope, so it can't be topic. Is it a theme, a message, or a lesson? Absolutely. It says that in times of need, you should, in order to keep being happy and optimistic, you want to, and never lose hope, in order to survive the difficulties in your life. So that is definitely a theme. Okay, it could be applied to another book or to ourselves. Next one. Salva is taught the importance of perseverance, never losing hope, and always continuing to work towards his goal and attain them by his uncle Juweri as they are crossing the Akobo Desert. Okay, is that specific to the story? Could it be a main idea? Yes, right? It has Salva's name. It has Uncle's name. It talks about the Akobo Desert. This only happens in A Long Walk to Water, not any other book. So we want to use that as part of a main idea. Okay, next one. Doing good for others. Well, is it specific? Does it use Salva's name or something specific that Salva went through? No, so it can't be main idea. Is it a lesson or a message? Some of you got confused with this one and you said, well, it has more than one word, so it can't be a topic. But is it also a theme? Does it teach us something? Okay, what about doing good for others? It doesn't say. So this would be a topic. Okay? Next, when you do something good to others, especially when they're in a difficult situation, you help them remain hopeful. Is that specific? Does it use Salva's name or something specific that Salva goes through? No, so it can't be main idea. Is it a topic, a subject? No, it's not. It's more than just a subject, right? It's very specific. But can it be a message or a lesson? And can it be applied to another book? Absolutely. So this would be part of the theme. Okay, next. The characters in the novel all struggle to find enough resources and basic elements like food and water to survive. They work together to survive. Is that specific to the story? This one was tricky. Does it use Salva's name? No, but it is specific to what happens in the story, right? In A Long Walk to Water, the characters do struggle to find resources like food and water, right, in order to survive. And they do work together in order to survive. So that is a main idea, okay? I know they start overlapping, but that's okay. You get the idea. Okay, and then the last one we have is, if you have perseverance and never give up, you'll be able to achieve the unimaginable. Is that specific to Salva? No, right? Even though, yes, we can argue and say, but he does have perseverance. but it says if you have perseverance. So remember we said you can apply it to your own life. So this would be also a theme, okay? So boys and girls, I want you to take a look at this, okay? Take a screenshot of this screen right now so that you can go back to your assignment to check your answers, okay? And I want you to make sure that you understand the difference between main idea, topic, and theme. Remember, main idea is specific to just the story you're reading. It will include characters' names, specific events, right? Specific conflicts. A topic is just one or two words, right? It's just a subject. And then the theme is the actual message, right? That more in-depth message that the author wants you to get out of reading the story. Okay, I hope this was helpful, boys and girls. Again, if you're still stuck on something, any of these that you see on the screen, if you're not unsure about any, please message me on Google Classroom. You can send me a private message so nobody knows about it, or you can send me an email. Okay, hope you're all well. Speak to you soon.